Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be going through and ranking the best pink diamonds in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Here on a tier list, we got 48 of the best pink diamonds in the game and the biggest names as well. Not all these cards are super elite, but the best and biggest name pink diamonds in MyTEAM to rank on this list today from S to D. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's go through and rank these cards. So we'll start off with Mr. Chauncey Billups, who is probably C tier. The problem with Chauncey is mainly that his jumper's not great and he's not really a dunker. He's very good defensively, but he's also undersized. He gets some of the best defensive animations in the game, though I will say, like, for whatever reason, I really don't know why, but he gets crazy good animations, which really does, I think, help to transform him as an overall card. So to me, like, he just gets really good defense animations. If his defense animations weren't as good, I don't think I'd be quite as high on the card, but as is, I like him. I don't know. I think C tier is probably the right spot for him, though, just because the jumper's not that good, the dunking's not that good. So got to go faster than that, though, for this list, I got to say. Dikembe's D tier, I'm sorry. He's slow. He can't shoot. I mean, he's not super slow, but he really can't shoot. Like, I'm not trying to super criticize the card. I just think realistically, on a list that's as strong as this one is at this point in the game, I don't know. Can't not put Dikembe in the D tier at this point. I think Shea could be argued as S tier. I'm going to go A because I don't know. We have probably almost 10 cards in S tier. Is Shea one of those top 10? I'm not sure. Really good, though. Good release. Does a lot of things well at the point guard position. Super versatile, top tier option. Now, obviously, Dr. J is S tier. That one I don't think is even debatable at all. That's a no-brainer. One of the best cards in my team still, probably the best shooting guard in the game, has an incredible release, incredible movement, everything you want. He's just a top tier card. One of the two best point guards in the game, or at least at this tier, is Zach LaVine. He's really, really good, has just super complete, no significant flaws. Shoot. I think I forgot to put Cade on this list. That's a bad miss. Cade would also be S tier. When y'all ask, where's Cade Cunningham? There you go. You should be S tier. My mistake. My apologies. I messed it up. Cade, very, very good card, though. Should definitely be in the S tier. So that is my mistake on that one. Calvin Nat, I'm going to go B. Really good defensively. Little undersized to 3, but does a lot of things well. Really solid card. I think C tier is, or B tier is the right spot for him. If he was a little taller, he'd probably be A. Paul George, a lot of good shooting guards at this point. There's only 2 pink diamond shooting guards that I think are like well, there's maybe more than 2. I don't know. I'm gonna go high B. B feels wrong for him. I don't know, but I think that's where I'm gonna go regardless. I like the card a lot. I think he's really, really good. I think he doesn't really have significant flaws, to be totally honest. He's not the perfect card by any means, but he's a very, very good one in my team, no doubt about it. And I think B tier is probably right for him. Franz is S. I think Paul George is the second best pink diamond shooter. Sorry, 4th best pink diamond shooting guard on this list. I think I have to put him in A tier, but Paul Franz is S. He is the second best pink diamond shooting guard after Dr. J. Really, really elite card. A guy who really has no significant flaws. Can't not put Franz in that S tier, in my opinion. Very, very easy choice there. D Wade, you're going C tier. Release isn't good enough. Defensively, he's solid. Slashing wise, he's good, but he doesn't have great dunk animations. But he is a good card. He's good defensively. He's got decent size. His jumper's just not very good. Limits the card for sure. Ron Artest is, in my opinion, 3rd best pink diamond shooting guard. Can't not put him in the A tier. He's better than Paul George. He's elite defensively, great fade, great jumper. Really good card. Honestly, I almost want to put KG in C. I'm not going to, but his jumper's not great, and he's got a low 3-ball. Everything else with the card is awesome. Just wish his 3-ball was a little higher. Wish the jumper was a little better. That's my main criticism of Kevin Garnett. Joel Embiid, I feel like he's pretty high up on this list. Is he quite S tier, though? I don't think so. He's not far off of it by any means. I think I'm going A for Embiid. Does everything well. Just a really, really solid, really complete card. No issues whatsoever with him as an A tier card in this pink diamond tier. All right, sorry, girlfriend called. Next card is Akeem Olajuwon. We still got 3/4 of these cards. I don't have to go pretty quickly. Akeem is A tier. He's same level as Embiid. They're pretty much honestly about the same card. They give you about the same value. I think they're both A. Halliburton, I think, is C at this point. He's not elite, super elite defensively. His movement could be better. His jumper could be better. He's not bad, but he's not great. I think C tier is the right spot for him. Larry Bird, really disappointing card. I just don't like his jumper. I don't love his movement. I don't think he's super elite in any specific area. I think he's C tier as well. Sean Kemp, he's better than KG. I'll say that for sure. I think KG's got to move down. I don't like KG, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all are going to disagree with that placement. I don't like that card. I think Sean Kemp is much better. I think he's B tier. Faster, better jump shot. Just, I think, better overall card than Kevin Garnett. Eddie Jones, definitely a B tier as well. Not quite the Ron Artest, Paul George level of shooting guard, but definitely a very good card. No problems with him in B tier. Odin is A tier. Very, very good. I think he's just as good, if not a little bit better than Embiid and Akeem. He's very, very elite across the board. Nice jump shot as well. I like him a lot. Bob McAdoo, absolutely top tier power forward, super fast, great jump shot. Like, he's really, really good. I think actually, I don't know. I think I'm going to go A tier with him. He's close. I could argue him S tier. I mean, the speed and the jumper is really smooth. Like, I like him a lot at power forward, but I think S tier is the right, or A tier is the right spot for him. Yao Ming is 7'6". I don't like him as much as the bigs in A tier, but I do think he's super glitchy. I think this low speed, low three ball isn't as big of a deal with him because he is so big. Shaq is obviously D tier, a non-shooting center at this point in the game. I just don't think is a real viable option. He's got to go D tier to me. John Morant, I think, is C tier. I mean, slashing is good and shooting, his jumper is nice, but his movement isn't top tier. His defense isn't great. He's a little undersized. I think he's C tier as well. Dirk doesn't have the inside defense. He does have the floor spacing, but he doesn't have a super elite jump shot either. I feel like he's also probably low C, maybe even D. I don't love that card. Wemby's obviously S tier, best card in the game, in my personal opinion, still, just because of how glitchy his jumper is. Pretty much uncontestable. He's an absolute dog. Very, very hard to not have an S tier, I think. James Harden, I'm going to go B tier with. I don't love the card. I think Shea is definitely better, but I don't dislike him either. He's definitely better than the Billups, Halliburton, D-Wade, Ja type cards that are in the C tier. I think B tier is the right spot for him. Scottie Pippen, same thing. Probably Eddie Jones-ish level. I mean, top 15 shooting guard in the game. Definitely a viable option. Elite defensively, big size, has a smooth jumper. Doesn't really have much by movement, but he's still a solid card. Definitely B tier. Trae Young, only card I included this card is, only reason I included that card is because he's free. He's terrible, really slow, or really short, can't dunk, and obviously isn't good defensively either. I think D tier for him. Draymond Green, not bad at the small forward position, really good defensively. Jumper isn't quite as bad as I thought. He's a little undersized, not quite as good as Calvin Nat in my opinion, but I still think I'd take him over a guy like Larry. So I'll put him B. Larry's C. Adam Morrison going to go A for me. Really, really good small forward. Definitely a very viable option. Probably the second best pink diamond small forward in the game, to be honest. Very, very good card. Feel like he's A tier. His jumper's better this year. I like him a lot. KP obviously is not D tier. He's S tier. KP's second best center in the game, in my opinion, after Wemby. Similar in terms of size to Wemby. Also has a great jumper. He's not quite as incontestable. He's not quite as glitchy, but he's still very, very good. I think he's definitely S tier. I think Jokic kind of stinks. He's a little better than Dirk, but I still wouldn't put him higher than C tier. Dirk just has no dunking and a bad jump shot. Jokic at least has a little bit athletic ability. They're similar in speed. They're similar defensively. Honestly, neither of them are great. I think I'd give Jokic the slight edge, though, but neither of those cards are particularly good. LaMelo Ball, I'm going to go B tier for him, too. That might be a controversial pick, but I just don't think he's quite that SGA level of point guard. I think he's closer to Harden level than he is SGA level, and so for me, he's just he's fine, but he's not great. I think B tier is probably right. I'm going to put Rudy Gay in S tier. I think that card is elite. He's really, really good. In terms of his movement offensively for a small forward, he's got a super smooth release. He's really good defensively as well, in my opinion, because of the big player build, great wingspan, elite jumper as well. Really, really good card. One of those guys who it's hard to criticize because I feel like he does pretty much everything well. So to me, anyway, I have no issues whatsoever with Rudy Gay as an S tier card. I'm going to put Kareem in B tier. Not quite the level to me of Odin, McAdoo, Embiid, and Akeem, but definitely still viable despite the lack of a high three ball. He's got the height. He's got way more speed than a guy like Yao does too. He's a super viable option. I don't want to sit here and criticize Kareem at all. I think he's very, very good. Devin Booker, I'm going A tier with him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander level, maybe a little lower, but I would take him over LaMelo and Harden. I think he's still very, very good, and I still have no real issues, in all honesty, with Booker being a A tier guy. He's still one of the better shot creating point guards in all of my team, and solid enough defensively to be viable. I'm putting Magic below Harden and LaMelo. Honestly, Magic, I know he's 6'9". He's just not that good. He's low B. He's low B. He's not quite C in my opinion, but he's not far off it. I don't like his jumper. The only reason I'm putting him B tier is because of how tall he is. That's about the only real value of the card. Jermaine O'Neal is atrocious. His jumper is one of the worst in the game. Again, the only reason I included him, similar to Trae Young, is because he was just made available for free last week. There are challenges for a free Jermaine O'Neal, but I still don't think he's good at all. His jumper's terrible, one of the worst of any card on this list. I honestly think he's D tier. I don't think he's good at all. Kyle Korver, one of the most underrated cards on this list. He is the same tier as guys like Eddie Jones, though, in all honesty. I don't think he's quite A tier. I think he's solid. It wouldn't put him higher than A tier, though, or than the B tier, just because he doesn't quite give you the defense of the slashing, but he's one of the best shooting cards in the game, period. An amazing, amazing shooter. Controversial choice here, but I'm only putting Giannis Pink Diamond in B tier, I think, at this point. Don't love the jump shot. It's kind of meh, and his three ball rating's pretty low. He's like his Opal, but worse. even his Opal. His Opal can play small forward too, is the thing about the Opal. The power forward can't, or the pink diamond can't. I think high B is actually the fairest spot for him. I think he's pretty similar level to a guy like Sean Kemp. Gerald Wallace, elite defensively, very smooth jumper, really solid option at the small forward position. Outside of Morrison, I think he is the second best small forward in the A tier. He's better than the guys in B tier, in my opinion. I'd take him over Nat. I'd take him over Draymond. I think A tier, low A is probably the right spot for Gerald Wallace. LeBron is obviously still S tier. I know that card's been out since day one, but Pink Diamond LeBron is still nearly as good as his Opal. He's an insane card with an elite release, amazing slashing, like everything you want from a wing. T-Mac, I'm sorry, at this point, you are not as good as, he's not as good as Corver, he's not as good as Eddie Jones, he's not as good as Pippen. I'm actually putting him in the C tier. It's going to be a little bit of a controversial one as well, but his jumper's a little hitchy. He's not super elite defensively. Sigs aren't great. Don't think he's that great of a card. I think C tier's right for him. I'm actually going to put, I think Karan is the best shooting guard in B tier, but is he good enough to go A tier? I have Artest and Paul George. No, I think he's closer to Corver and Eddie than he is to Artest and Paul George, probably. I like Karan a lot, but I think B tier is probably the fairest spot for him. He's just not amazing. Gilbert Arenas, wish the release was a little better, wish the movement was a little better. Not a bad card, but not a great one. I think C tier is right for him. Drew Holiday, I'm actually going to put S tier or A tier. His defense is amazing. I would take him over I would take him over LaMelo and Harden, to be totally honest with y'all, because he's just so much better defensively than those guys are. And I like his jumper a lot too. Like, I actually think Drew Holiday is a really good card. Tim Thomas is really disappointing this year. I actually think he's C tier. He's got no movement. His jumper's way worse than it has been. He's one of those guys who was an absolute god in 2K23. In 2K24, he was good as well. This year, he is not. Definitely not on that same level. I think he's C tier. KD's going to go B tier for me. I just don't think he's great. I wouldn't take him over any of the other B tier small forwards. I mean, maybe you argue him over a guy like Calvin Natt or Draymond. I just, not super impressed by the card. And then MJ, I don't care. I'm moving Dirk down too, I think. But MJ's just not good enough, bro. Like, that card, he's not got super complete stats and badges. His release is trash. He doesn't have great movement. His Dark Matter is much better, but even his Dark Matter, I think, has flaws. This Pink Diamond card is not good. I think he's D tier, and I'm moving Dirk down as well because of the lack of athletic ability. And there you go. This is my tier list of the best Pink Diamond cards in my team right now. Let me know what you think of the list in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.